Hey, New Yorkers, Gossip Girl here. Did you miss me? Well, I sure missed you. I'm back to serve as your one and only source into the scandalous lives of New York's elite. You know you love me.
For years, Gossip Girl watched from behind the screen. She narrated everyone else's lives, never stepping into the frame herself. This time, I'm not just a voice, I'm the one behind the screen. And this is how Days Before Us came to life. Days Before Us fits within the drama genre, specifically character-driven realism. It follows the conventions you would expect: a linear morning routine, a workplace setting, and a protagonist under pressure. But where the film challenges convention is in what it chooses to focus on. There's no dramatic twist and no grand achievement. The conflict lives internally within Isabel. Instead of glamorizing success or hustle culture, the film centers burnout, anxiety, and emotional labor, especially through the lens of a young working woman. The use of public transportation, a corporate office, and a muted color palette reflects the reality often overlooked in a film: its survival. Gender dynamics also play a role. Female mentorship is portrayed as quiet, grounding, and human rather than competitive or performative. Support doesn't come from domination, and it comes from understanding within our film. The film engages audiences through pacing and restraint. The opening uses fast cuts and repetition to mirror the feeling of overwhelming, pulling viewers into Isabel's mindset immediately, especially during the scene where Isabel was struggling to get through her presentation. The selective use of color creates curiosity, and the audience isn't told what it means. Rather, they're invited to sit with that. Rather than explaining emotions through dialogue, the film relies on visuals, sound, and rhythm, allowing the audience to interpret meaning on their own. As a real media text, Days Before Us would be distributed digitally. Film festivals, online platforms, and short-form streaming spaces where introspective, character-led stories like ours thrive. Marketing would lean into reliability, burnout culture, and early career anxiety. If you ever felt like you're barely holding it together, this film is already for you. This project forced me to grow quickly as a filmmaker. I learned how to fully manage an editing workflow, from importing footage to exporting in a cohesive final cut. I started to become intentional with color grading, using grayscale and brightness shifts not as effects, but rather as storytelling tools. I learned how music can completely change meaning. Switching from Tame Impala to Daydream in Blue shifted the tone from stylized to emotionally grounded, which is exactly what our film needed at the end of the day. I also learned the importance of patience and collaboration. Not every idea works, and not every moment is linear. That's the part of the process. But most importantly, I learned that filmmaking isn't about perfection, it's about clarity. And working with Little J and everyone within our project helped me realize that sometimes when there's conflict, you have to overcome it in order to get the project done. Now, in the technology place, technology was essential in shaping this project. Blogging allowed me to document growth in real time, reflect critically, and understand and track my creative decisions with my group. CapCut and Adobe gave me control over pacing, transitions, sound design, and visual consistency that helped the film overall. Using these accessible equipment proved that storytelling isn't about expensive tools, but it's rather about how intentionally you use what you have. Me and my team worked collaboratively to decide areas that we'd be using for our filming, and we ended up using my GoPro, which really helped us deliver the media quickly onto the laptop and everything that followed through with. Days Before Us isn't about having everything figured out, but it's rather about sitting in uncertainty and still showing up. As a creator, this project changed how I see storytelling: less spectacle and more honesty. And in case you were wondering who's been watching the whole time,
and who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.